Hi, today I'm going to review a book called Asking for It, written by Louise. It's a rare book dealing with the difficult subject of rape and rape culture in contemporary society, which is extremely difficult to read. However, it's a book that keeps you hooked. Asking for It is a story of 18-year-old girl named Emma Reed who lives in a small town in Ireland. She one day goes to a party, gets drunk a little bit too high, and takes some unidentified drugs. After that, she blacks out. And next morning she wakes up on her parents' porch and finds out that there is something wrong with her because she has a lot of bruises and burns, sunburn basically, because she was lying on the porch for a long time. After a few days she finds out what exactly happened through the pictures of her being posted on social media. What happened was that Emma was gang raped by a group of boys from the football team after she went unconscious. Although she has had given consent to one of the boy in the group and hesitated right after giving the consent, which is the main point which is demonstrated over here in this book as what we call is asking for it and what we call is crossing the line of consent. Although I think the term asking for it cannot be used when the consent is associated with it because it has a very negative connotation associated with it, which is quite very disrespectful. Asking for It is a first-person perspective written by Emma. She doesn't come across one of the most likable characters in literature. She comes across as someone who's mean, hurtful, judgmental, and self-centered. This is a deliberate attempt by the author to make her feel unlikable character. She is trying to prove a point which is very well proven in this book. The point that O'Neill is trying to put across over here is that sadly not everybody but most of the people will be outrageous to find out that a girl who's young and innocent is attacked by a boy while coming back home. But what if the girl is wearing a short dress? What if the girl is drunk? What if the girl is above 18? And what if the girl is someone who made the first move? Would we consider that girl to be asking for it? This is very beautifully and very strongly explored in this book, which is a very, very well written book. Asking for It is similar to Louise O'Neill showing a mirror to the society to make us see the ugly truth of slut-shaming, sexism and ignorance. Moreover, it explores many other contemporary problems with the society. One of the subjects of the book is rape culture. Rape culture is a culture in which society blames the victim of sexual assault for the assault themselves by asking them questions like what they were wearing, were they drunk, or are they considered promiscuous? These questions kind of normalize the violence against them, and these questions are targeted in a way to find out whether they were asking for it, which is the title of the book and very much justified because of the contemporary situation in the society. Another major issue that the book digs up into is consent and points out how unaware and how ill-informed people are related to the concept of consent. There was a point in the book where Emma withdraws her consent by showing hesitation, which to many people were not clearly taken as withdrawing the consent because she didn't say no. And I think consent needs to be taught in more details to everybody. At this point, I would like to shout out to all the awesome YouTubers who have been posting videos and content related to consent. The book also explored the role of social media in slut shaming. It's very interesting to see that the reality of that kind of slut shaming is something that we see every day on our news feeds and we just walk by them thinking, oh, alright, that's not a big deal. But actually it is a big deal and we have to sit down and consider what we share and what we should not share on social media in order to slut shame somebody or insult somebody or harass somebody. Another important prospect of the book is the intense aftermath of the internalization of blame by the victim. We find Emma questioning herself whether it was her fault. We find her totally convinced that it was her fault. This book shows a unique perspective of a rape victim after the rape has taken place and the state of her mind and the depression and anxiety that she goes through every day after the incident has taken place. Asking for It is a book which is not easy to read. It is going to make you angry, it is going to make you feel a lot of things. And rightly so, because the main theme of the book and the concept that the book is pertaining to is something which should make you angry, which should make you question the society. And I think Louise O'Neill is not somebody who sugarcoats the reality. And she didn't do it in this book also. She didn't tie asking for it to a happily ever after ending, which is the correct thing to do. She even mentions this in acknowledgement that she didn't make it the specific kind of ending which everybody would be dreaming of for, but a more realistic kind of ending, which is heartbreaking though to read about, but is truth. I will recommend this book to be read by everyone, and I think anybody who's above the age of 16 can read this book. However, I will advise anybody who's a victim of sexual assault and rape to use your discretion while reading this book, because it's not really a very easy book to read, and being a victim, it will be very hard for you to read it because it's really brutal for me even. So I can think about a victim, it's going to be really, really brutal for them. I have never, within the process of my education or academic life, have received any formal information or had any formal conversation with anybody regarding the concept of consent and rape. And I think this has to be changed. I think we should be taught about consent in schools and colleges, and parents should inform their kids about consent more openly, like they usually don't. Anyways, this was my review of Asking for It. I gave Asking for It 5 stars on Goodreads because it's an awesome book and everybody should read it. Bye!